Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, guess what? Your
it
head took it over. Hello.
What?
No,
What'd you say?
your head took over the mirror.
My head took over what?
The mirror.
The mirror? Oh, my head blocked it out.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're like in this.
Should I sit
Oh
down?
yeah.
Are you-
Now that's.
Okay,
I'm in.
then I'll just move this over.
It's like I was behind you and
Is
I
it
disappeared.
recording?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
red?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna check to make sure. It's not
Still
charged.
red.
It is. Okay, good.
Yeah.
we need to always check each other.
Oh,
That's
I
the thing.
know.
It's not just me because there's ones in the beginning.
When you see red, you better
If you
talk.
see red,
If you don't, shut
bring,
up.
I didn't bring Clyde Frog tonight. I mean Kermit the Frog.
Well, they're on respite tonight.
I can't have him here every night. I don't want him back until I turn his head inside out and Dremel the thing out of his mouth.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Oh,
Welcome to Garden Talk. Well, it's really
I
wide.
would
Okay.
probably, yeah. I probably would be.
Welcome to Garden Talk with Jason and Don. Don's in the mirror. We're doing experimental filming tonight to see what works. This is his fake clock. It has a mirror on it.
It's my hidden room.
You what?
My hidden room.
It's a hidden room.
Where I
It
keep
is.
the
Well, it looks
treasures.
dimensional because there's a mirror and then you can see back there. And this is Don in the background.
Down in the mirror.
Maya McMahon. Not Sam Johnny Person. What the fuck are we talking about?
Oh, we were going to do a thing about the OD. Your conversation
but we were talking
with...
about something before that. About the. Oh, you said you said that I usually come over here with something to talk about. I don't know if I really want to talk about the guy that died in the building on Friday.
Okay.
Didn't we already record that?
No.
Yeah, we did.
We did not...
We did, yeah, because you showed up that night.
Right. Exactly.
We talked
we
about it.
did talk about that, but then again, you were having a conversation stating that she's now back. That she had two
today.
other
Oh,
people.
what happened? What happened today?
Two
Am
other
I centered?
people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I didn't tell you the whole story. I didn't tell you any of the story, did I?
Right. No,
Yeah,
you just gave me a brief summary.
I'm just trying to think how to start. At which point of the day
Well, when you first saw her,
I first saw her.
as you said that she was squunched down and, the whole bit,
I
like
first
looking
saw her today.
very high.
Oh, we're talking about Honifa.
Anifa.
Honifa part 2. This is the next. This is Honifa a few days later.
Oh, and you also, before you told Annie about it, and she...
Oh, right.
or
Give me a
Sally-
piece of paper. Give me a
Sally
piece of
Ann.
paper. Sally Ann's response. Yeah. Sally Ann's response. This was classic. So this is, maybe we do Honifa after, well, right? Oh, well, okay, sure. All you need is one on the front face.
But it's easier to write on a bunch of them
So we're
because
talking
then it...
about Honifa, H-O, dash Nifa, N-I-P-H.
E-V-A.
Huh?
N-E-V-A.
No, Honifa, P-H. Ho, ni, and there'd be an N-I and a P-H, P-H-A with like a little thing on it if she was writing it out.
Well, whatever way it works for you.
Oh, that's how I was doing it. Like Juanita. This is Honifa.
Juanita.
And Sally Ann's response, R-E-S-P,
O-N-S-E.
S-E. Sally Ann's response to the OD. Well, we need to talk about something else, and this just kind of happened. I just can't talk about it.
So what'd you do today?
What did I do today? I went to LACC and I registered as a student.
And what classes are you taking?
I don't know yet. We're gonna find. I like to voice over Dr. Liz Christensen, and she's fine with me mentioning her name because she said it's free publicity. If anybody ever watches these, Dr. Liz Christensen, Dr. Elizabeth. Anyways, Dr. Liz wanted me to do voiceover classes.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I'll look into it. And they have voiceover classes at LACC. So, but I had to do the preliminary thing today, which took about an hour and a half on the computer to go through it, and in 3 business days, I will receive an email with my student ID number. I print that out and I take it into the admissions, and I'm a student. Then I have to meet with I think that I have to meet with counselors and go over and figure out what courses I want to take.
You'll get a card too.
I will.
Yeah, because I got one.
Yeah,
with your picture on it.
Yeah,
and
I will. Yeah, that's what I got to go in for.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did that today, and then I came home, and I walked the dogs. Honifa, see Honifa was. And as I walked the dogs, when I came back, Honifa was walking up the street. I didn't tell you about this, did I? Oh, this is great. Honifa, I was coming down this way, and Honifa was walking up with her drug dealer on one side, or a drug dealer. How about that? The guy who had the who had the crack pipe at the door.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the beer. Well, a couple weeks ago or a month ago, whatever, and her now deceased friend, boyfriend, fuck buddy, whatever the hell they were.
Yeah. Better known as her caregiver.
Hell, no.
Who was caring for who?
No. He didn't quite make it there.
But that was supposed to be his new job.
No, I think Brittany was just because Brittany had been. Honifa had been putting it off for months, and this is a dual story. This is how we do this. This is dual. Because Sally Ann said to me today, breaking confidentiality.
Of course.
And
don't tell
anyone.
I know.
Don't tell anyone.
I know
Don't tell
that
anyone.
story.
I'm going to tell you something, and I could get fired for telling you because we're not supposed to tell about what's going on with other residents. But here's what's going on. So I know she shoots her mouth off about me all the time. That's why I say that
everybody.
She shoots her mouth off about everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. You go down there and she just wants to shoot her mouth off about everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, I need to start recording this before I go in the office. Tomorrow, that's my mission, to go in and confront her about something, just to get her defensive, to record it.
Yeah.
Say, this is what we deal with.
Right.
Well, all I would have to do is open the door and say, how are you doing today? Well, let me fucking tell you, Jason. No, she wouldn't say that, but she's like, well, this, and it's all your fault. It's always my fault. It's always my fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you should know better.
You should know better.
You read your lease.
No. Today, this, this is, what happened to Sally Ann's list? Did you throw those away? More than chicken. Now, remember we made the list. There was the list of Sally Ann's rules. I didn't take that. That's I don't think I took it.
Yeah, you might have, because
I
you've
might
taken
have. That's
some
okay.
things
That's
at
okay.
home.
This is.
It would be.
Oh, here it is. Notice of action. I just was doing chicken scratch because it was.
You had to turn it around.
It's right there. It's right there. It's
Okay.
right there.
Notice. Yeah, I like that
It's
notice
right
of
there.
action thing.
Well, if anybody who doesn't, this is the notice of action from the other night, as if the more than chicken lady wrote it with her tea. But Sally Ann's response today,
or with her beak.
well, all of her responses to just a simple "Hi, how are you?" She brought up the whole Honifa thing. She's the one that told me about this. And I just stood there and said, oh. I said, well, he has been living in the building illegally for the past 4 months. Well, I gave Brittany paperwork months ago. She was supposed to bring it to me. And I said, but the lease says that we can have somebody staying here for 3 days. If it's after 3 days, we have to let you know, and then it's only 14 days longer that they're allowed to stay. And
Once it's approved.
If it's approved. It's
Yeah.
approved. And they'll approve anybody, unless you're a crackhead. Oh, well, no, that's not true. That's not true either. They'll
Yeah.
approve a crackhead because, well, look, he was living here.
And it depends who it is.
He was living here. Yeah, well,
Like in your
it depends who it is.
situation.
Careful on that. It depends who it is, because God knows if I have somebody here.
Well, you
over-
did for a couple
I
of
did.
days.
I did for like 3 days over, and I get a call from Barker about that guy living in your apartment, and I said, yeah, he's over over 2 weeks. This was Manny's boss, whoever Manny's boss was at the time. And I said, yes, he's trying to get in the Venice recovery house. So he's a drug addict. I said, no, he's not a drug addict. He's sober. I said, I'm a drug addict and I'm sober. Well, he can't stay here any longer. He has to be out tonight. And I said, no, he'll be out tomorrow night, and I hung up on him. And I had to throw him out. And then 2 days later, he got in the Venice house. But he had to, for 2 nights, he couldn't find anywhere to go. I didn't know, because I would have let him come back the next night.
Yeah.
Okay, because then the whole thing starts over again. I'll play that game. But he didn't. Anyways, he had to sleep on the street that night behind a dumpster.
Really?
Because he couldn't find a couch commitment. Yeah. But we have
I know.
Mr. Prison tattoos down there, who was
Got panhandles all over the building
panhandles,
for something.
cigarettes and money in the building from people able to live here, and Sally Ann's response was,
I don't know.
no, you're gonna love
Is
this.
it witnessed?
You're gonna no, I think she was high on crack herself. Seriously.
I'm beginning to wonder.
I started thinking about her responses to things, and they're just off the wall, cray.
Well, she pulled the wool over my eyes, and I always thought in the beginning she was a really nice person
And she was not.
until last year.
Christopher. Well, you getting
After the incident with Christopher,
Mm-hmm.
and yet she believes who Luffy, whatever the heck her name is, Louis. What is it?
Honifa.
Nifa. Okay, that's
Look, see, that's what he did.
yeah.
Honifa. Honifa.
But anyway, when she she was the one that was egging it on. Kill him, Whitey.
No, she said get him.
Oh, I thought she said
She
kill
did
him.
not. She did, because that would have been better. But I'm not gonna lie. No, she
Well, I
said
thought
get
you
him,
would have
Igor.
told me that. I thought you
Shove
said kill him.
yourself.
But it's immaterial. But the point is, then it was all downhill after that with her. She was just now.
No, you just
looking for
finally
problems.
realized who she was. That's what I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
That's what I've been dealing with Igor's situation. Before he tried to kill Christopher and I ended up going to jail.
And you.
And I say Christopher and I.
Yeah.
Me twice. Once a year and a half earlier, he tried to break.
And then when he tried to rape you, you break in to rape you because
I
you
don't
wouldn't
think
have
he's trying
sex
to know
with him.
he was going to kill me. He was not going to rape me. He was going to kill me. Well, he may have raped
I
me.
thought the first time he wanted to have sex with you.
No. That was the first night that he didn't try to rape me. He just came in with his dick, like his crotch, pointing at me when I opened, because the door was open. Because I thought Mark might come over, and I was just hauling stuff out of my apartment, garbage and stuff. He came over with a bag of weed and a case of beer, and you look like Stuart, this 21-year-old prostitute that I dated 30 decades ago. And I said, well, I'm not Stuart. I'm not a prostitute. Thank you.
And you're not that old.
What?
And you're not that old.
I said, well, he would rather be a prostitute than live with me, and I told him he couldn't live with me if he was a prostitute. He just went on the street and prostitute, and you look a lot like him. And I said, well, I'm not him. I'm not him, and that was 3 decades. Actually, the very first time he said it was 30 decades ago. Because he was drunk, and he stumbled his words.
Yeah.
And I was like, 30? Well, 3 decades ago. I'm like, that was 30 years ago. Christ. Poor guy. Pining for Stuart. Anyway, no. That's it. He said I look like Stuart, and I told him to get out. I said, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm sober, clean and sober. I just moved out of a rehab I was working at, and no, thank you. Go away. But
Yeah, I'm supposed to stay away from people like you.
yeah,
Bad
you are the
influences.
people that I stay away from. And
Yeah.
the thing is, I mentioned this before when we were recording. He didn't know this because of the time that I spent in the building, living here with Mark and Jody and Fernando and John.
So you tried all these
I
apartments.
tried all the units. I tried all the units.
Your footprints on
I knew who Igor was. I knew exactly who Igor was because I spent more time at Mark's apartment than anybody's, and we knew exactly who Igor was. So for this guy to come up to my apartment, drunk and high, fat, I just can't even do him. I can't do imitation.
Oh, he's
But
just too nasty.
Annie's responses to the OD, out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. When I said about him living here illegally, and he died of an overdose. Well, I live here too. And I said,
Yeah, but you didn't OD yet.
I said, and I thought to myself, why the hell did she just say that? Yes. She said, and it was all I could do to stop from laughing because I was thinking about the recording we did the other night
Right.
when I was cray and everything, and I'm not that cray yet. Maybe in a second recording we do, I can be that, but. She's like, I live here too. And she said it several times. I live here too. And I just thought, God, he. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I should have done what I did the other night when I did the countdown. Yeah.
That's it.
Here's what I wanted to do the other night. Okay, and I knew that you would not approve by any stretch of the imagination.
Stop the clock.
No.
Oh.
No. I want to have it set up so that when the clock rings, that I'm doing the chicken thing, and I have a pillowcase. Or I want a handful of down, and when it rings the final one, I just want to throw the feather. I want to have it stay. Just throw the feathers over. I clean it all up, but I was thinking as
you
I was
definitely
doing
would.
what? Oh, I know I would.
I wouldn't let you out the door.
But
without-
I don't not like all of the pillows of a down
Yeah.
pillow, but like a lot of them, and just poof, yeah.
Just like she had an explosion.
Well, like the chicken lady, which you haven't seen a lot of her videos. She's got the there's feathers and everything, and I wanted to have some feathers sticking out and just throw the feathers. But anyways, I was thinking about that video we did the other night, and Sally Ann is down there just giving me material. Just God, all I have to do is walk around the apartment building a couple times and talk to 1 or 2 neighbors a day. And I got all the fucking material we ever need to record all night long to tell the stories that I sum up into one. Several people sometimes are combined into one story,
Right.
just so it's easier to, because I don't have nicknames for everybody. Oh, there's Lurch.
Lurch. Oh, I did tell you Lurch today. You know, he saw me coming like I was going to my car.
Yep.
And he's at the other end. And you know, it was like one of these situations where when I got along with him, he would wave to me, and he's like, he started to wave, then he takes his hand, he puts it down like this, and the next thing I know, he's like walking toward me. I'm going to the elevator, and he goes as far as just to beyond the corner there where
And stops.
the window, and then I get in the elevator and
Did you
goes
guys have a
down.
fist fight or bitch slapper or something?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it was not a physical thing. It was a date
Yeah, I know, you told me. I remember the
that
date. I remember
he thought was a date. And I called him 3 days before and said, because of situation out at the valley, a condition that Christopher was having at the time, he had to have some be taken to emergency or to a doctor. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I would not be home for us to go out to dinner. He's, oh, no problem. He says, that's fine. He says, I'm glad you called. And when I returned to the building, it was as if I never called him. To his knowledge, I never called him. And I'm like all the rest of the motherfuckers in this building, all nasty bastards. They all should die. I should die too. And this and that. And they go, you are sick.
Lurch is a little cray too.
Yeah. So anyway,
And
I told him.
and I think he's done the crystal meth a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
he has mentioned it several times in passing, and I just normal people don't mention the effects of crystal meth to people, you know. Unless,
But you know how he got so engaged with me that I usually don't get engaged with people in the building in that respect where I go out with them or anything like that? It's because he was terrified of being kicked out of here
oh yeah,
for every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I assured him I did his paperwork.
Anything he did, he could get kicked out for.
Yes. And so I assured him he wasn't going to get, I did his paperwork for him and everything else. And that's what started him being friendly to me, you know. And I'm sorry I ever got involved, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's too bad.
So anyway, Annie said, Sally Ann said,
She said a lot. She said a lot, and I was really saying absolutely nothing, except for the few things that I did say about. I said, well, it looks like he's not going to be filling out paperwork now to move in the building with he. Is he?
you're getting a bad track record here, lady.
I'm not surprised. I'm not the goddamn DEA. I said, no, you're not. And she said, well, I'm not surprised. And I said, what are you not surprised about? And she said, well, the overdose. He was a drug addict. And I said, oh, so you were allowing a known drug addict to
Criminal.
live in the building. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was waiting on the paperwork. Wouldn't give it to me.
Did she say she was surprised it was in Brittany?
And the very next thing is she. Oh yeah, I live here too. I gotta be careful. I live here too. And I said, so you're putting the rest of our safeties
because
at risk
she's afraid.
Because you're too afraid to go demand from a psychotic, drug addict, bipolar, violent, schizophrenic, she's violent bipolar. No, she's bipolar depressed. She's bipolar and schizophrenic, but I forget the exact thing. You know, to go a drug addict and let her have somebody move in the building, and keep having people move in the building who are all on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and
or
because you're too afraid to say you gotta stop doing you're being evicted for doing drugs. And her responses were just one after another. And I just was like, wow, I wonder if she's on drugs. It was just, or she's just, as my friend John Price would say, Mary had gone round the bend this morning, and it was early in the morning.
Well, you know what she also told me? She told me that when I told her the last time about the incident down there and all these people she said, well, you have to write it up because I have no way of knowing unless you guys
write it up. Well, because she won't walk her ass down and see.
Yeah. And she says, unless you guys write it up. And she says, oh, and by the way. Now,
the door.
Huh?
The door?
No, she's, by the way, just between us.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. And I know you won't tell anybody, but between us, just keep it between us. Keith came and wanted to know the name of who is complaining about his brother and sister.
What?
Keith wants to know who is the one complaining about
he has no rights to
relatives.
Know. He has absolutely no rights to know.
And I said, what did you tell her? She's, oh, I would never tell her.
The hell she didn't.
Yeah. So, but it goes to say, like you say, if she knows something, she can't keep it in. She's stirring the pot for,
she's stirring the pot
for a violence.
To cause drama between people, to get people fighting, and to do more drama, so that she lives on the fucking drama.
Yeah, and it secures her job in some way because
in some odd way.
Because she's the one you have to go through for it to get outside to the proper people that would do something about it, if they would do anything about it. And it's only her word to Barker as to what's going on here. That's why they won't talk to us individually. When I tried to talk to the boss, would not talk to me. Now, he does not have a right to refuse to talk to me because I am a tenant in a building that he is getting paid for and not allowing.
According to them, whatever happens officially in the building is what the property manager writes up. That is the final take.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm going to HUD. That they'll get the
regardless of what video proof exists, regardless of what eyewitness statements, whatever our psychotic, crazy apartment manager feels like making up that day as a story to stir the pot, cause more drama, is the final story, and Barker won't hear anything more of it because, well, that's the manager.
Well, maybe you have to bring the news media in here to do a story on the building and who's supposed to be managing it.
Well, I need to start recording everything with my GoPro, like everybody's been telling me for a couple of years now. Walk out the door and just hit record. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.